Hi, in this artistic dialogue, I conceptualized a video game called Village of the Seagulls. This game was inspired from the work of Charles Temple Dix on the painting you see now, Sunset on the Coast. It's an oil painting created in 1859 after Dix returned from a trip to the Mount Desert Coast, an island in Maine. Dix is widely regarded for having a talent for drawing the sea, being described as a marine painter and having previous experience painting naval battles during his time in the Army. This particular painting was found at the Albany Institute of History and Art in the Hudson River School exhibit. From this painting, I was able to discern a few key themes. For one, there's a sense of peace and serenity. The sky is a warm pink, the water is completely flat and silent, and the sun is only just starting to break through the clouds. It's a place so peaceful and completely removed from civilization. All that's left to remind us of humanity is what looks like a broken pillar in the ocean. And despite the lack of people, life still exists through nature. What looks like seagulls still flock to the shores, and grass is present throughout the entire landscape. With these themes locked down, how does it adapt to a game? I wanted to continue with the idea that human civilization is no longer present, but it was at some point in the past. All that's left is nature and the seagulls in particular. For this game, the seagulls will act as a primary focus. These seagulls, through centuries of evolution after humans have long left the island, have become curious about the ruins left by humanity and start to investigate them. As this happens, the seagulls gain intelligence, allowing them to create a society of their own. Thus, a village of intelligent seagulls is created. This game is a real-time strategy game with a focus on world building, the goal of which is to create an advanced civilization for the seagulls that sees them recreating many of the things you would see in a human society. While it may seem like a curious decision, this game is a single-player experience. By doing so, I hope to keep the game feeling expansive and in line with the serenity depicted in the painting. While this game is a strategy game, it's more about the journey and adventure you go on while creating this world instead of the strategies you use to create it. The target audience for this game is 14 years and older. It requires a player to be able to read and advance the Seagull Village, so basic skills such as proficiency with a keyboard and mouse, reading, and understanding of complex mechanics is required. The basic guideline for this game is that if you're able to play a game like City Skylines, Age of Empires, or the Kingdom Building in Ni no Kuni 2, you can play this game. Additionally, the game differentiates itself from the other world building strategy games by placing it in the hands of something distinctly not human. It also approaches the strategy genre in a single player experience, which is uncommon for this type of game. And now onto the three C's. The player assumes the role of the king seagull. This puts them in the position to manage and control the village as it develops. For the camera, the game takes place on a 3D island constructed similarly to that of the painting, with mostly rocky coasts and an inner forest. There are two distinct points of view, top down and first person. The top down view offers a more traditional experience, complete with the ability to individually direct seagulls, while the first person point of view allows a player to explore the world on their own. So while the top down view is more suited towards large scale actions, the first person point of view lets you complete individual tasks as well as interact with other seagulls. The game is controlled through the use of mouse and keyboard. In top-down view, the mouse is used to click on on-screen elements. Along with the mouse, these elements can also be interacted with keyboard shortcuts, as is common with many other strategy games. The camera is moved by middle clicking and dragging, or by using the arrow keys, and scrolling allows for the camera to be zoomed in or out. To switch between perspectives, Q is pressed on the keyboard. Once in the first person point of view, the player uses W and S to control the speed. W is to increase your speed up to a certain point, and S is to decrease it. You would use your mouse to aim and look, and you can use shift to fly faster. This brings us into the way the game works. I'm going to start by going over a brief scenario, which is just the beginning of the game. So when the player starts the game, they are by themselves on the coast of the island. They are tasked with building a village. In order to do so, however, they need to gather a population of supporters, which are other seagulls who will be a part of your village. After all, you can't build a village if there's no one to live in it. In order to gather other seagulls, you'll need to explore and find a seagull colony, at which point you can give them 3 food to convince them to join you. If you don't have food, you'll need to scavenge or hunt to get some. The above scenario is a pretty good depiction of the core gameplay mechanics that are expanded as more seagulls are welcomed to your village. These mechanics are exploring, scavenging, research, and investigating ruins. By default, the island is unexplored and covered in a dense fog. But as you explore it, the fog lifts and you're able to see the area around you. This area expands to both your top-down and first-person point of views. When you explore, you can run into seagull colonies, which act as your main way to gain research and population in the beginning of the game. To find food, which is used every time you add a seagull to your society, you can scavenge or hunt, which consists of locating an apple tree bush or fish in the ocean. In the first person point of view, these actions only require you to go up to one of these objects and interact with them using the E key. In top down mode, you can control individual seagulls, telling them to perform those tasks on specific things for you automatically. This is similar to how Age of Empires would handle units. This automates the procedure of getting food for you, allowing you to focus your attention elsewhere. Then there is research. The research is a clear indicator of how your village is progressing. It can be thought of like the technology systems in a game like Civilization. Research is progressed through research points. These points are gathered through investigating and successfully inviting seagull colonies to join your village. A research like Guide to Nests gives the ability to create permanent nests, which increase the maximum population of the village by 2 for every nest created. Investigation is also an important aspect of the game. Since seagulls aren't capable of wielding tools or creating structures in the same way as humans, they need an alternative way to gather resources. This is done through investigating ruins or debris. As the game progresses and more research is done into the previous civilization, more aspects of the ruins are understood, revealing ruin descriptions. These descriptions give the player a backstory to what happened to the humans who used to live on the island. The top down and first person points of view separate the game and transform it into more of a peaceful game than one specifically about building the best village as quickly as possible. The first person point of view allows you to explore the island from the sight of a seagull, making it possible for you to see your advancements up close. It is also a way to personally contribute to your growing village and is how tasks are done at the beginning of the game, since there is no one else to help you. In contrast, the top down perspective is more traditional and allows you to control the other seagulls. Other than that, thanks for watching. The documentation for those who are curious is in the description of the video.